Picture this. Your startup is growing. You've hired brilliant people, but how do you quickly create an environment where they trust each other and you completely? Today, we're going to talk about 3 unconventional strategies for you to rapidly build trust, strengthen your team, and accelerate your success. Stick with us. Hey everyone, John here. 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 Welcome to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. Welcome to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. I'm your host, John Espinosa. I'm excited about today's episode because it's going to talk about entrepreneurial spirit. And one of the things that I love about being an entrepreneur is that excitement that we bring to ideas, to starting our companies, to working with people. And it's important for us to move quickly. As entrepreneurs, the environment is constantly changing. So I know for me, when I get an idea, I have to strike. I got to ideate. I got to figure out what day one looks like. And then I got to go implement and then not miss 2 days in a row and stay consistent. So I'm sure listeners out there have felt this way, and it could translate into maybe planning for a vacation. That entrepreneurial spirit, once you get an idea, it's all about the excitement of what day one looks like. And so for today, I want to talk about how to take that urgency, that sense of urgency, and build trust in your teams. As you begin to scale your business and your company's growing, or maybe that side gig that you're mowing lawns, it started out with you and a lawnmower mowing lawns, and now you got a trailer, and now you got a couple different lawnmowers, and now you got a friend helping you, or you got a team helping you. Even when I was young and I had a lawn mowing business, it was all about building yourself up, building your team up, and in turn, relationship management, what creates trust. And so today, I want to talk about 3 unconventional ways. And if you want to learn a little bit more about conventional ways to build trust, the last episode, we talked about the foundation that trust is to team building. But today I was like, you know what? What about that entrepreneur out there? Because I do things unconventionally. I have very traditional ways that I like to build trust, but I also have some very out-of-the-box ways that I like to build trust with my team. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And if you are in that same boat, maybe you've had those crucial conversations and you've laid down what the standards are and your expectations, and you're all about holding people accountable. Now it's time to take it to the next level. Now maybe you got new people coming on, you're scaling pretty quick, or you had a turnover and you got new folks coming on, so you understand the processes and systems in place. Now all you need to do is get the people together. Get your team moving in one direction so that way you can go make as much money as you possibly can in a short amount of time, because there's one thing about entrepreneurs is it happens in a flash. It's quick. I've heard a lot of people talk about that it's easier to make money in a shorter amount of time than it is over a long period of time. So you have to move quickly. And today I'm going to teach you how to build trust with your team quickly. So let's get into the conversation today. 3 topics, 3 sets of applications, 1 challenge for you to go implement. So get out your journals. This is active listening podcast. This isn't passive listening. If you're working out or you're running or you're at a spot where you can't write things down, bookmark this lesson, give me a thumbs up, save it in your profile, whatever you got to do. Make sure that you go back and listen to this, because you're going to get a lot of good nuggets here in some very unconventional ways that I use to build trust quickly in my teams. The first one we're going to talk about is radical transparency. And that term radical, it just gets me energized thinking about it, because this is going to accomplish is we are going to break down those barriers. And we do that quickly by sharing critical information. You're going to get vulnerable here. You need to get transparent. And this first one, this application, and I've done this before, not only in my family team, but with my entrepreneur team, when maybe business slowed down, or even if you were at the peak of business, everything was going right, I conducted an open audit. So I let the team into those very probably unique things that a business owner and an entrepreneur normally probably wouldn't let people in. I opened my financials. I said, this is the income coming in. This is what's going out. This is where we are at. This is what we have to maintain to continue to grow. And this is what I need you to do. Immediate trust with the team. They were like, John, I don't know if anybody's ever shared this before. A boss, a business owner with me. And my motto was, where I go, they go. And they immediately got bought in to where we were going, what I was doing, and the mission of the business. So this is something that you're going to have to get comfortable with yourself. But I'm telling you, it involves the team in those unique challenges. If you are slowing down and growth is stalled a little bit, guess what? You may get some good ideas. There may be something that you're missing and not thinking of that a team member or somebody in your company says, hey, John, you know that one time, what if we just flipped it a little bit or changed that one thing? And guess what? That's going to take you from $500,000 to $1 million company. And you would have never thought about that idea if you wouldn't have had this radical transparency application of opening your books, opening your financials, lifting up the hood of your business and allowing your team to look inside. Very, very probably out of the box, but I found great success in using it. Another application that you can use when we talk about radical transparency is disclosing your internal strategies in sensitive decisions. So again, your mindset, sharing what's going on in your thinking. As entrepreneurs, I got an idea board up here. I'm constantly ideating. Who's my ideal client? How do I tend to them? How do I market? How do I sell? How do I continue to produce content? I got all these ideas out here. Those are my internal strategies. That's what I share through my coaching. Those are ways that we bring people into our mind, our way of thinking, so they begin to start understanding where they fit, and they immediately start trusting you because now you're in the inner circle. Have you ever been an outsider before? I have. What does that feel like? Where you're looking in and you're like, I wonder what they're talking about. And guess what? You want to be inside that circle. So what's an immediate way to build trust? Let them come inside that circle. Let them come inside and experience and think through situations with you, right? It's important for us to bring people into where we are going, strategize with us, and then share those sensitive decisions that you're going to make. Hey, we're going to have to cut this area, or I'm looking to minimize this certain part of the business so that way we can maximize or maybe gain efficiencies in other parts. Very important when building trust. So radical transparency. Those are some great applications. I want to take a quick break from the episode today to talk about a couple things. The first thing, less than 40% of our listeners are subscribed to our channel. You would be doing me a huge favor if you click on that subscribe button. It helps us grow our Go Be Great community and get this podcast out to as many people as we possibly can. The second thing, are you a small business owner that is drowning in the day-to-day operations? You're delegating tasks and you're still doing all the work. You're experiencing a high turnover. Maybe you don't have the systems and processes in place that you need to run a successful business. I invite you to go over to thejohnespinosa.com, fill out the form to see if you're the right fit. Now back to the episode. The second one, celebrate constructive failure. Now stick with me here. And this is one that I've borrowed from an Elon Musk or a Jeff Bezos or, anybody out there, an entrepreneur, billionaire entrepreneur. Man, you got to level up. I want to follow people who are way above me because that's who I'm striving to be. That's where I'm striving to go. So for me, fostering an environment where experimenting and failing is acceptable. And it's not just acceptable, but I actually will celebrate when we fail. Mind blown here, because a lot of people are like, John, you're crazy. Why would you ever allow a team to think that failure was okay? Guess what? That's how we learn. And if we're not willing to take risks and we're not willing to fail, then we are not willing to innovate. We're not willing to grow. We're not willing to think outside the box. We're not willing to future-proof our businesses, entrepreneurs. Go Be Great community. Listen to this. Go Be Great. It's not just a mantra. That's our vision here. And in order to achieve that vision, we got to take things to the max. We got to make sure that we are pushing the edge when it comes to innovation. And we can't do that without this constructive failure that we're going to have. So what are some applications that I use? One great thing that I love to do, and you don't have to pick Fridays. I've just picked Fridays because it's the end of the week, but I call it Failure Fridays. So here, what I like to do is get the team together and then share maybe things that didn't go so well during the week. We're always talking about the things that went well. We're always talking about our successes. What about those things that didn't go so well? That's where you're going to improve. Businesses, great businesses, there's a fine line. There's very little gap between great and good. It goes along with people, and it goes along with businesses, and it goes along with entrepreneurs. It goes along with companies, CEOs, frontline managers, anyone who's leading people out there. There's a very, very small gap. So what does that look like? And when I'm talking about Failure Fridays, it's an opportunity for us to say, you know what, that didn't go so well. I'm seeing maybe this breakdown in the process that we created. What advantage does that give you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur? That's a huge advantage because now you know where there may be a breakdown in the process, a weak link in the process, and you can go fix it before that weak link turns into something that's just too big to where the process is broken. Now you got a machine down. Now you got people that are sick or burn out. And guess what? You got to go fix the whole entire system instead of just tweaking a little part in the system and letting it go. Failure Fridays gives me the opportunity to recognize when something is not working, and it allows the team to bring that to me. So I celebrate it. I encourage it. I call it Failure Friday for a reason. Make sure that you are doing something about lessons learned and identifying gaps, things that aren't working so well, or broken pieces within your businesses. This is going to be crucial for you to celebrate constructive failure. Very, very important. The second application that I want to talk about here when we are in the celebrating of constructive failures is making sure that we encourage quick experimentation. Whenever an idea is brought to you as the business owner, as the entrepreneur, as the leader, listen, just listen. Don't provide any feedback. Don't give them any kind of, facial expressions of, I don't know about that. Listen to their idea and then say, you know what, John? I really like that idea. Let's go try it. Give it a try. I trust you. Encourage that quick experimentation. Don't sit back and go through a bunch of risks and tell them why you think that it's not going to work. Again, that's limited thinking. We are going to expand this thing. These are unconventional methods for us to build trust rapidly. And put yourself in the shoes of that person that's bringing the idea to the table. Talk about, man, John trusts me. He encouraged me to go try out my idea. Now what you're creating is ownership. Now you're creating accountability. Now you're creating that trust that you're going to need for the next time something's not working or they have an idea about a company. Boom. Here we go. We're off and running. We're growing. We're creating leaders. All of the things that we want to do as entrepreneurs. Here goes that $500,000 company to $1 million company. I love it. I hope you guys are enjoying these. I enjoyed journaling down this morning. I mean, I hope you just feel the excitement in my voice because a lot of this, it's the inner workings, the things that I do with my internal teams that I shared through my coaching, but these things work. The last one, trust through controlled risk. So in here, we are going to create this environment where controlled risks are accepted. And we do that through the experience together. So listen to me here. A couple different applications that I've used this for. Whenever I got teams, and a lot of times if you got virtual teams or if you have teams that are global, this can be a little bit challenging, but you can do it in pockets. And it's all about creating an environment or an exercise where you all are going through it together. So examples that I have here are escape rooms. Have you ever gone through an escape room? And for those out there, maybe the listeners that don't know what an escape room is there's companies that put people together in a room. They give them clues, and it's up to the team to figure out the clues in order to escape from the room in a certain amount of time. Talk about controlled risks. Talk about working together and collaborating and having to trust. If somebody gives an answer to a clue or somebody thinks it's one way, now you're bringing in that experimentation. They have to experiment. They have to try out what their hypothesis is or what they think the possible solution is, and the team has to trust them. It's incredible. Just the psyche of being locked in a room, and the only way you're going to get out is to figure out and problem solve and trust each other. Great way to create that environment of controlled risk. Another way that I like to do this, and Jesse Itzler talks about this, he's the one that has the big A calendar back here behind me. He takes his teams on like these ridiculous outdoor adventures. They're either hiking, they're cold plunging. I think last time he took them to another country and they did like saunas, but they experience these controlled risks together. And it is a great way to rapidly build trust. I mean, talk about a day together where you all are pushing each other to do something that you normally probably wouldn't do. Now, I'm a little on the crazy side, so there's not too many things that I would not do, including skydiving, which I want to do that this year. It's on my calendar. But I'm talking, you don't have to go skydiving. That's not what I'm encouraging here. I haven't done that yet. But I tell you, it would kind of be cool. But for a team to experience something challenging together, controlled risk in an environment, and then walk away at the end and you have that shared experience that next time that challenge comes up, you're moving through it. You can pull back to it. Remember, we pull back to our shared experiences. I always talk about being in the present and moving forward, but a lot of times our first thought goes to the back experience, the previous experience, and now we're using either that for confidence or we're using it to say, a limiting belief. I tried that and it didn't work. So again, if we create these experiences in a controlled environment, now everybody has the same experience to pull back from, and your business is going to skyrocket. Again, $500,000 to $1 million here, and then it's just going to exponentially increase after that. So great way to experiment. Another one is projects and tasks outside of their normal expertise. And this is a way to really challenge and redistribute work and create this culture of, hey, you know what? You do that job and I do this job. That's not trust building, is it? If I understand how my job, what I do, impacts another person, now immediately back to relationship management, you have empathy. You have accountability, especially if you're turning things in late or that's subpar. You got something like that on your team. And I'm sure you've been there where you've received a subpar product or your deadline is depending on somebody else getting you a piece of work and it's slipped. And now you're going to have to work extra. You're going to have to stay after. You're going to have to come in on the weekend and spend time away from your family. Or as that entrepreneur, as that business owner, as that leader, you're going to have to make that up. Somehow, some way. It's your business. Everything falls on your head, on your shoulders. So again, now what you're doing by taking people out of their expertise, exposing them to something else within your company, you're getting them appreciation, you're flipping the roles, you're allowing them to start thinking outside the box and gain empathy and it may be your role as the business owner. Hey, I'm taking a vacation. John, I want you to step in for me. Talk about a real quick trust activity. Now they're going to experience the day-to-day that you normally have of putting out the fires, problem solving, making sure people are taken care of. This is a great way, again, and experiment with it. You can do it with projects. You can do it with tasks. You can do it with roles and responsibilities. It is a great, great way for people to experience something that's outside of their usual. And it challenges them. It almost is a shock to the central nervous system. And when we shock our central nervous systems, it awakens us, opens our mind. It opens up those neural pathways. So we start taking in more information or new information. And now we're able to think through challenges together and we begin to trust each other really quickly. So I wanted to keep this short and sweet. If you do have questions, please put them down in the comments. I will make sure to answer them. It's a great way to reach me on any one of these episodes. After you get done listening and you're journaled or you got a question or you've implemented something, and you're like, John, I implemented something. It didn't go as well as I thought it was going to go. Put it in the comments. Go out to the website. Email me. Let me know. I will answer. I'm here for you. So real quick review. How do we build trust fast in our teams? The first one, radical transparency. Get very, very transparent. Open up your books, making sure that you're discussing those internal strategies, kind of your decision-making process. The second one, celebrate constructive failure. So this is Failure Fridays. This is my absolute favorite thing to do with companies and encourage leaders to do. Try it out. Tell me what you think. And then last but not least, trust through controlled risk. So create those environments, create those opportunities, escape room or adventure things that your team can go on and rally around each other. And again, these things work. I've tried them out. I've worked on them. I've tested them. I've had other leaders do them. They work. My challenge to you, put one to use tomorrow. I believe in you. Go be great. Talk to everyone later. Bye-bye. If you like what you're hearing, do us a favor. Click on that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up or leave a comment. That lets us know that what we are putting out benefits you. If you want additional information or resources or learn how to work with me, head on over to thejohnespinosa.com, because when we become better versions of ourselves, it helps us get others to where they're going. Go be great. Talk to everyone later.